Hey, it's Dr. Karen Kan. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And this week the message is the obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius said that forever ago, and I think it is a really good piece of advice. How often have we dreamt something big, something amazing, something that we'd love to have happen in our lives, and then almost immediately something comes to push our buttons and challenges us. In another Spiritual Medicine Digest video, I talked about the contrast coming up to heal whatever it is that's preventing us from getting what it is we say we want. So the obstacle really is the way, and it actually points to the path that, wow, we are getting closer to what it is we say we desire, as opposed to it necessarily being something that is purposefully sabotaging us or blocking us or that kind of thing. So it can be very, very tempting to blame the universe, blame someone else, blame the situation, that, oh, we're so uncomfortable, this shouldn't happen. We have all these judgments about how uncomfortable, the situation is. However, if we shift our mindset and think to ourselves, oh, wait a second, this is a challenge. This is what I call an abundance challenge. So that means that whatever it is we desire is coming faster to us because these challenges occur. Now, unfortunately, I see a lot of people, a lot of light warriors take a step back when they come up with a challenge. They want to escape it because it doesn't feel comfortable in their bodies. They have some sort of conditioning that says if it were the right thing, it would always be easy. Well, here's the thing. It is true that when we are in flow, when we're in that being state, when we're connected to the still point, which I use the stillness through observing internal movement process, and I'll put the link down below so you can learn it as well. I use that process, and what I notice things do flow better. Money just comes in easier, opportunities come in, things seem to work themselves out in a more graceful way. That being said, it doesn't mean that there aren't obstacles. In fact, sometimes, for example, in business, the kinds of obstacles that occur are part of growing a business. So, for example, if you are in a solopreneur business, where you only have 5 clients a week, coaching clients, mentoring clients, that kind of thing, it can be fairly simple to do everything manually, text back and forth, and, do your appointments on a piece of paper, meaning like your appointment book, you're not using electronics. Maybe you're using the phone, maybe you're using Zoom. Right? And then as you grow, and maybe now you have 20 clients or 50 clients a month, and then things start to get a little confusing and challenging because it's really difficult to do things manually like the way you did before. Maybe you need to hire an assistant. Maybe you need to purchase a program like Calendly or Visita to manage your schedule. Maybe you need to learn how to sync to your Google Calendar. Maybe you need to learn to use other apps like Zoom, right? And all those integrations. And so even though these are seemingly challenges, and some people would say obstacles, because maybe your computer dies, maybe things don't work, maybe, I don't know, your webcam doesn't work, like mine chose not to today, and that forced me to actually open up the new one that I bought 3 months ago. I hope you like it. So these obstacles is the way towards or closer to what it is we say we desire. So I'm in a Dreamweaving loom where a lot of high vibrational spiritual committers, if you will, or evolutionists and sacred economy champions are there to really dream big, not just for themselves, but for the rest of the world. And these are courageous folks that dream big. And what happens often is that as they dream big, the obstacles seem to come quickly. And that is a good thing. It's medicine all of the time if we can have our mindset set to, oh, great, not really enjoying it at this moment, but I know it's for the highest and greatest good, and I'm going to persevere and go through it. It's very different, that kind of mindset, than just letting any obstacle sabotage you, or your mind saying, oh, this must be a sign that I need to pull back. Well, you know what? If that were the case, the light bulb would not have been invented. Okay, a lot of things wouldn't be invented. Do you think these people had an easy time the whole way? You know, did you think that, you know, for example, the Rocky Balboa movies, that got rejected a bunch of times, like a lot, until, you know, and they were like, well, you can't be you can't be the star. We're going to hire another actor. You're terrible. You can't speak, you know, all these things, right? To Sylvester Stallone. But he's like, no, this is my story and I'm going to star in it. And he just persisted until somebody said yes, and it took a really long time. So in order for us to really manifest our dreams, not only does it require the vision, not only does it require the being state of that, but also taking inspired action and not being stopped by our own monkey mind and just going, oh, okay, uncomfortable. This is not what I was thinking was going to happen. And it's all good. It's all medicine. It's all like, okay, we are growing to a higher level, a bigger level, expanded level, and I'm taking all these people with me that I love, right? So this happens to all of us. And so if you have some sort of thought that people that are highly successful and happy do not have obstacles or challenges, you are very, very incorrect. They have a lot, and sometimes they have more things that the average person does not even have to deal with. It's not like in their wheelhouse to even be in that stage where they will be dealing with such obstacles. And I'll just share with you a couple from my business just so you get an idea. Some are, I mean, would be considered a pain in the butt, and others could be considered really like, you know, very, very challenging for a lot of people. So, for example, you know, and some people have noticed this and they're not in a business as well. So I'm including everybody else who's not in a business as well. However, people that are entrepreneurs actually have a little bit more challenge, but they also have bigger rewards as well. So an example would be, you know, in the United States, I didn't know that if someone took your debit card and fraudulently used it online, okay, we had that happen through stamps.com. No idea how they got it. But anyway, so I didn't use my debit card that much online. However, somebody got the number and started charging, I don't know, pizza, Uber, I mean, all these different things. Now, luckily, it was caught fairly early. And I went to the bank and I said, hey, fraudulent charges, can I get my money back? And they said, well, actually, no. And I'm like, what? And they said, well, in the United States, your personal accounts and debit cards and things like that are protected under fraud protection. So if there is fraud, it's reported, you get your money back. But as a business, we don't have such a law. So actually, we don't have to pay you back. So in other words, lucky for me, it was only a few $100s, right? But what if it had been $5,000 and it was gone and there was no recourse? You know, I mean, they can launch an investigation and you know how that goes. It may or may not turn out anything, right? So as an entrepreneur, you live and learn some of these things. Another example would be, people email me, a company, and they say, oh, we can protect you from fraud. We noticed that there were these sites that downloaded all your files and are now selling your programs. So we went to those sites, right, my staff and I, and sure enough, they were selling my program. And they were selling one of the programs a lot less than, what I normally charge. And the website was not very nice. And I'm like, they're just selling a whole bunch of healers programs. Like they hawked a whole bunch of healers programs and are just selling them at dirt cheap rates, right? And the funny thing is, my staff was like, I think the people who are emailing you to get the service to, get rid of the fraud are the people causing the fraud. And something inside was like, I think you're right. And then now with the pandemic and everything else happening, I can see how that is a thing. You cause the problem, then you create the solution for the problem. So it's not like a new thing. I just didn't know it was a thing. So luckily I have wonderful mentors and coaches, and I got some advice, and they said, look, I mean, chances are they're not necessarily spending hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars on marketing. So it's unlikely someone's going to buy it. And if they buy it and they ask for you for help or for support or something like that, then you can say, well, excuse me, but that actually wasn't our program. That was, fraudulently, stolen from us, and we don't do support for that. Well, luckily, nobody ever came to us and asked, for a refund or asked us for support on a program that they bought off one of these fraudulent sites, which I think is very interesting. So these are what I call abundance challenges. And instead of being upset and, then purchasing the protection program and all this kind of stuff, we just got to let it go. Because chances are, if I'm doing my job correctly, okay, if somebody sells my program, somebody must have needed it, good for them. However, lucky for me, I'm always evolving, right? So all my programs, over time evolve and they improve, and we change platforms, and, we give extra support and bonuses and all sorts of things. And so if they are trying to fraudulently sell my stuff, there's no way they could ever support the person the way we do. There's no way they would love the person the way we do and put them in this beautiful love container, right? So, but these are just some examples of what entrepreneurs deal with, and that's just a tiny thing. Another would be, I'm learning to do Facebook ads to really connect with the people that are still on Facebook, less and less these days, but that are my tribe, the people that are looking for healing, looking for natural ways of healing, activating their own self-healing, empowerment, things like that. And so I'm learning how to do that. And I have a team that's really expert at it. And what we notice is as we look at these comments, some of these comments are really mean. Yeah, and nasty sometimes. Very judgmental. Some of them will say fraud, and things like that. And they'll I'll respond in a very kind, peaceful way, and they'll delete my response. Right? I'm like, great. Okay, so people are not seeing how enlightened my response was to you. I posted it elsewhere. Anyway, so the thing is, again, it's like this. There's an engine out there that is purposefully on some level and metaphorically through the universe giving us those challenges so we can see the obstacle is the way, that there is a way we can handle things with ease and grace. So what used to feel like a mountain to climb is now a molehill. It's not that big a deal. So when people are pissed, family members, whatever, I mean, the old me would have been like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. I'd be in bed crying for days and just my whole life would be falling apart and I feel suicidal. This is a very long time ago, mind you, but there was a point where it was like that. My ex-husband would tell you that would be monthly. So, yeah, love those hormones. However, as I grew spiritually, then those things it didn't really bother me as much, right? And even if it's family members blocking me on Facebook or returning my Christmas gifts, the children, whatever, they were told that I did, that was bad, rude, whatever. Instead of really being angry and upset, I can be understanding and go, okay, yeah, I perceived it, the situation this way, you perceived it that way, you perceived me as being mean and heartless and whatever, and I perceived that I was really just trying to save your life, right? So it's there's no right and wrong there. So I don't have to take that personally. And these are beautiful ways of seeing the world as the obstacle is the way to your abundance. The obstacle is your way to rapid manifesting. The obstacle is a way to your dreams. So let's do some Topicain healing today. What I'd like you to do if you are wanting to or desiring to receive today is to get into the still point. We can do it together. So I like to teach people when they first start to rub their hands together, get some heat going, get some energy moving in the body, and then you can close your eyes and relax your hands and just focus on the inside of your body. Just feel inside the skin. You can feel maybe some motion, some tingling, some waves maybe. And then just follow that flow of energy wherever it goes in your body. Focus on the body. This is what we call embodying, being in the body. Focus your mind to feel the energy moving in the body. And as you do that, you enter the 0-point field. This is where we can heal and manifest. I will go ahead and speak the Topicain healing directives on what we're healing today. Continue in this space feeling your body. If you'd like to receive, you just make that intention internally to go ahead and receive. I now command that any resistance to obstacles that come to each of us, whether that be a perceived obstacle in the past, present, or future, that resistance be released, dissolved, and uncreated with love in the highest and best way. It's now commanded that the clair-knowing or the clair-cognizance of enjoying that this means that our manifestation, our vision is rapidly coming to us. That knowing that every obstacle that we come up against is one step further. So you can use that big, huge rock of an obstacle to block you or as a stepping stone. That knowing. Go ahead and download and activate that in all of us with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way. Thank you. I now command that anything preventing us from being able to see or view or perceive that every obstacle is the way to our spiritual growth, is the way to our manifestation, is the way to manifest our vision, be clean, cleared, healed, and resolved in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where we exist with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. All right, if you have your eyes closed, you can open them and just notice how the body feels right now. Just tune in, notice how it feels. You can go ahead and type in the comments and let me know what that activation felt like for you, that Topicain healing activation. Would love to know. I love seeing comments on the videos. And by the way, if you are on YouTube, love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so every time I do a new video, you'll be notified. So we have some cool things to share with you, some announcements on Light Warrior Radio, which is Monday, February the 20th. I have the great pleasure of airing an interview that I did with the amazing Dr. Bradley Nelson, author of the new book, The Body Code, Unlocking the Body's Ability to Heal Itself. Now, Dr. Brad and I go way back to like about 2013 when I took his Body Code 2.0 training. He's the one that introduced me to the concept of healing entities with ease and grace, and I kind of dove into that world and learned all sorts of other things, but he is the one that started me on that amazing journey and really catapulted me to my purpose. So I have great gratitude for Dr. Brad and his beautiful family, and the Body Code is finally in book form. Yes, in fact, it's like about yay thick and it's beautiful. It's got pictures. It's very well described. So excited to support the launch of his book. So on the 21st, if you happen to be hearing this before the 21st of February 2023, please buy the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble on that date, on the 21st of February. That's a Tuesday, so we can make this a bestseller. And you may notice the endorsement on the back cover and the inside of the book is from me. Dr. Brad asked me for an endorsement. I'm like, oh my gosh, such an honor. So we had a fantastic time chatting about the book, what's in it, what you can do through reading the book, and it's fantastic. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. And so I'm really excited to support the launch for Dr. Nelson. So go ahead and on Monday at 12 noon Eastern, listen to the interview and remember to buy the book the next day. A couple more announcements for this week. Number one, last call for the Transdimensional Alchemy Program, Package B. So Transdimensional Alchemy is really about healing all your lives simultaneously at once. So we have multiple different protocols, healing past trauma, inner child themes, seed emotions that seeded many, many, many years ago that have fractalized into maybe hundreds or thousands of versions of itself. We can pick that seed and heal it. So the Package B in Transdimensional Alchemy is about me doing it for you and with you live. And the live call is next week, which is the 24th of February from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you on that call if you are registered to Package B, and if not, I'll put the link below that you can take a look at it. Also, next week is the Healing Faster Than the Speed of Light 3-hour workshop. Now, this special workshop is like an introduction to light medicine, And every time I do the workshop, it's about, 2, maybe 3 times a year, I kind of add in new information because I'm always learning new things. So I'm really excited about some of the science that I'm going to be sharing, and then we'll be practicing the basics of Topicain healing together. That Healing Faster Than the Speed of Light workshop is just $22. So I will put that special link near this video, and then you can feel free to share it with your loved ones or friends of yours who resonate with light medicine and natural healing. Would love to have as many people as possible on that workshop. Last but not least, in the announcements, between May 28th and Friday, June 2nd is the Light Warrior Training Camp. It is a live and in-person 5-day immersion at the 𝗨𝗪𝗏 Lodge and Resort in Lake Claire, New York, which is about 40 minutes from my house. So the Light Warrior Training Camp is a camp that I've been running for a number of years. The last time I ran it was the year before the pandemic, and I ran it at the Omega Institute, which is a very, well-known holistic health healing education center, whatever you want to call it. This time we're going to do it closer to home. We're able to have more people. And so there is going to be a super early bird price for that 5-day immersion. So what's in the 5-day immersion? Well, if you have read my book, Sensitivity is Your Superpower, or you've just heard of it, we are actually going to be training you in those superpower gifts in that book. And it's one thing to read the book. It's another thing to actually do the work in person with feedback, with support, with some mini healings, right? So you can really lock it down, whether that be muscle testing or doing distance healing on a proxy prop for someone that you love, or it could be a little bit of telekinesis, right? All these different skills. And it's so fun to be together with my light warriors, to see you in person, give you a big hug, do some photo shoots, book signings, maybe a little dancing, drumming, who knows what's going to happen. So we're really, really excited. The team and I are really excited to have the Light Warrior Training Camp again, after these years live and in person. And really, really loving the idea of you coming as well. So if you happen to have a free ticket to this event because you bought a program of mine called the Relationship Healer Harmonizer Program, Package B, then what you will want to do is to book your accommodations at Lake Claire Lodge, because that is the prerequisite of getting a free ticket, is to book, so we know you're coming. So book your accommodations. It's first come, first serve. There's very few singles, but there are like doubles and quads and cabins and family size accommodations. So it's very rustic. It's out in nature. It's a beautiful place. We have a beautiful lake vortex. We plan to, dunk in there. It's very, very shallow to do a lake vortex meditation. So it has been, so many years now. It seems so many years. 2018 is not that far ago, but it's time. It's time to have this live and in person again. So really, really, really would love for you to come. So definitely book your accommodations. Stay on the mailing list. So if you're not on the mailing list, just go to KarenKan.com, get the book bonuses, and get on the mailing list. And that way, when we email you in a couple of weeks with the super early bird price, you'll get first dibs, because there's only 25 spots, for the super early bird, right? Because it's a huge discount. And then after that, we'll have early bird, and then we'll have, the regular pricing after that. So we'll put the link below where you can book your accommodations. I hope to see you in May and June. So that is the Spiritual Medicine Digest for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. And again, remember to hit the subscribe button on YouTube and give it a thumbs up. If you like this video, feel free to share it and hit the notification bell if you want to know every time I have a new video, or if I go live, you'll be notified. Until next time, lots of love. Bye for now.